So it looks like Gianluigi Buffon, Sergio Aguero are all set to leave their clubs. David Luiz is set to leave Arsenal. David Alaba, Jerome Boateng are set to leave Bayern Munich, and Javi Martinez. So that's the end of an era for a lot of players. Gianluigi Buffon has been at the top of the game for so many years now. As you all know, it's almost been 20 years since he's been at the top of world football. He's won it all. He's won the World Cup, except for the Champions League. I think he's won everything with Juventus. Aguero again has won everything. He has a chance to win the Champions League with Manchester City as they take on Chelsea on Saturday. But Aguero seems set to join Barcelona, and that should be interesting to see how he gets along with his good friend Lionel Messi. There's some good things happening at Barcelona with guys like Sergio Aguero coming there, and there's talks of Memphis Depay also signing, and they might sign Jorginho Wijnaldum as well, and Eric Garcia in defense. So it's going to be a good Barcelona team. I think Leo Messi, as you all know, is one of the best players in the world. Him along with Aguero, that should be a good combination. Both of them can turn creators, providers and scorers, as can Antoine Griezmann. The three can link up really well. Ansu Fati will be back, and Ansu Fati is often forgotten. Memphis Depay off the bench can be a really live wire presence. Jorginho Wijnaldum can control midfield, although he's getting up there in age. That responsibility will lie mostly with Frankie de Jong to control the midfield. And Pedri, again, we all know, a young player who came through this year. So other than that, a lot of the teams have qualified for the UEFA Champions League, like Manchester from the Premier League, Manchester City, Manchester United, Liverpool, and Chelsea. That have qualified for the Champions League. From La Liga, there is Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, and Sevilla. From Serie A, Inter Milan, Atlanta, AC Milan. Good to see AC Milan back in the Champions League after so long, and Juventus, Bayern Munich, RB Leipzig, Wolfsburg, and Dortmund from Bundesliga, and Lille, PSG, and Monaco from the League One. Gary Neville has named his 3 signings that he believes can transform Manchester United into Premier League title winners. That is Harry Kane, Jadon Sancho, and Rafael Varane. And I think I totally agree with that, because what Manchester United currently lack is a clinical number 9. Yes, Edinson Cavani is there and he's a good striker. He gives you a lot of goals. He's playing well. His off the ball movement is good, but he's not playing every match. He's not 25 anymore. He's not going to play every game. He's not going to give you a lot of goals. And Anthony Martial is out of form. Mason Greenwood cannot be other striker that Manchester United are looking for. So Harry Kane can be the guy. He can give you those 20 goals. He can give you those 10 assists every season. He can be the player to take your team to the next level. Jadon Sancho, they need a right winger. Mason Greenwood, yes, Mason Greenwood's development will be hampered, but Sancho will provide them with the pace, with the skillfulness, and the finished article that United required to challenge for the title. As for Rafael Varane, well, for Real Madrid, it will be a really big blow to lose out on Rafael Varane, a player who has served them so well for so many years. He's won 4 Champions League titles at Real Madrid. But if Manchester United come calling, then, and there's something going on there which not everybody knows, why all these players like Ramos, Varane, why was Ronaldo pushed out of Real Madrid, why was Zidane pushed out of Real Madrid in the first place. Now again the same questions are being asked, that why is Zidane being pushed out, why Hazard is being pushed out, why Ramos is being pushed out, why Rafael Varane is being pushed out. Although there is some good news for Real Madrid, that Luka Modric has signed a new deal, so he's going to be there for another year. That is good news. But Varane going will affect them majorly. Obviously, with Eder Militao's improvement this year, I can see him slotting into the first team along with David Alaba. David Alaba is supposed to be joining Madrid, so Alaba, Militao, and if Ramos stays, then it's a good team. But preferably Ramos and Rafael Varane should have stayed. But for the Red Devils, yes, it's a good move to get Rafael Varane in the team. Varane can certainly improve their backline a lot. With Harry Maguire and Rafael Varane, the two of them together, Varane will improve their backline. He will improve anybody's backline because he's one of the best centre backs in the game. So those two together, him and Harry Maguire, that will be a big upgrade from Victor Lindelof and from Victor Lindelof. Erling Haaland being linked with a lot of clubs. At 19 years of age, he scored 44 goals in 40 games. At 20 years of age, he scored 41 goals in 41 games. He's definitely Ballon d'Or, future Ballon d'Or winner, the way he's playing. Now, Arsenal there is a speculation that Arsenal are being linked with a £50 million 22-year-old centre back, Jules Koundé from Sevilla. That's interesting. Now, Arsenal need a defender. Arsenal need a lot of players right now. Arsenal did not have a good season. Right from the top to the bottom, there need to be wholesale changes. Apart from maybe the best player was Martin Odegaard last year, or Emil Smith Rowe played well, Saka played well, but Odegaard's gone back to Real Madrid. So the striker needs to be changed. Lacazette is not good enough. He's out of form. They need a new striker. Aubameyang is being played out on the wing for reasons only Arteta knows. He played so well up front last season, but this season he hasn't played out on the wing. So that is anybody's guess why that is being done. Other than that, Nicolas Pepe has improved in the latter half of the season. So maybe Pepe can give you something extra. The midfield, Thomas Partey was injured. Xhaka and Partey, whenever they played together, Elneny as well, they played well, but Partey needs to be fit. But defense again, Kieran Tierney is good, but the centre back position of Gabriel and Rob Holding is doing well, but Jules Koundé will improve that backline for sure. The top goal scorers in Europe's top 5 leagues. Lewandowski leads the charge with 41 goals in the Bundesliga. Messi comes in second with 30 goals in the La Liga. Ronaldo with 29 in the Serie A. Mbappe with 27 in the French league, and Harry Kane with 23 in the EPL. As for Leicester City, they are keen on 3 signings. They're close to 3 signings. Boubakary Soumare from Lille, Odsonne Edouard, and Ryan Bertrand. Soumare is a young up-and-coming central midfielder who played for Lille, who won the title with Lille, and it looks like the League One winners are ready to cash in on the 22-year-old due to the financial impact of COVID. And Soumare is thought to have been convinced by a move to the King Power Stadium by French under-21 teammate and Leicester defender Wesley Fofana. The midfielder last year turned down a £35 million move to Newcastle and states that he wants to play Champions League. Odsonne Edouard is the Celtic striker whose hot property this summer. He's scoring a lot of goals. He would be an ideal replacement for Jamie Vardy, who's going to turn 35 next season. Although Kelechi Iheanacho played well and finished the season well, but you need at least 2 strikers up top. So Odsonne Edouard will be a good player to have. As for Ryan Bertrand, a lot of clubs are after the services of Ryan Bertrand, but at 30 years of age, maybe he has 2 years to go. So you have to see where you go from that. Joe Willock is in the news. Joe Willock, because of his recent exploits with Newcastle United, he scored I think 6 goals in 6 games, which is quite good, which is really good. So, but Arsenal does not look like Arsenal want to sell the man. After initially it looked like Newcastle will get him on a permanent deal, but now Arteta has said that he wants to build a future with Willock in mind. Other than City, Liverpool are the only champions in the last 10 years to win the league and then finish in the Champions League places the following season in the Premier League. With Leicester and Chelsea both not finishing in the last 10 years. That's an interesting start. Selena Gomez, Khalid and Marshmello will be performing at the UCL final opening ceremony on May the 29th. The Premier League Player of the Month nominations are out with Nicolas Pepe and Joe Willock both nominated. Gareth Bale of Tottenham, Christian Benteke, Sadio Mane from Liverpool, Aaron Ramsdale from Sheffield and Rodrigo from Leeds. That's an interesting shortlist. Now Sergio Ramos, coming back to Sergio Ramos, he's represented Spain in every international tournament since 2006. In the 2006 World Cup, 2008 Euros, he won the 2010 World Cup, in the 2012 Euros, 2014 World Cup, 2016 Euros, but 2018 World Cup, but at 2020 Euros, surprisingly for some reason, Luis Enrique has picked only 24 players instead of the 26 that he could have picked, and he's left out all Real Madrid players: Marco Asensio, Sergio Ramos, Nacho Fernandez. Nobody knows why that's happened, but yes, it's happened. One of the greatest defenders of all time, if not the greatest defenders, has been left out of the Spain squad. He would have definitely added to the Spanish squad if he was in the team. Now, Christophe Galtier, the Lille coach currently, in 2018 he saved Lille from relegation. In 2019 he guided them to a second place position, and this year he's guiding them to the championship. Now coming to the top 5 contenders for the UEFA Euro 2020. According to so England are probably one of the contenders. They have a nice squad depth. They have good players with the quality of Harry Kane, Jack Grealish, Jadon Sancho, Mason Mount, Declan Rice, Marcus Rashford. Then at the back they have John Stones, Luke Shaw. So it's a good, strong team. Phil Foden is also there. Belgium is another one of the contenders with players like Eden Hazard, Kevin De Bruyne, Romelu Lukaku in good form. So the Red Devils are one of the favourites. Apart from them, Italy have gone on a long unbeaten run, and they are definitely one of the favourites. Players like Marco Verratti, Chiellini, Leonardo Bonucci, Ciro Immobile, Lorenzo Insigne, Alessandro Bastoni. Then again Portugal, my favourites for the European Championships, headed by Cristiano Ronaldo, with likes of Bruno Fernandes, Andre Silva, Ruben Dias at the back, Bernardo Silva, Diogo Jota. It's a strong team, and I think rounding off the top 5 would be France, who have a very strong team with Griezmann, Paul Pogba, Kylian Mbappe, Hugo Lloris, Rafael Varane. They're very strong as well, but it looks like Portugal will be the favourites. Lionel Messi wins the Pichichi Trophy yet again for an 8th time. He's won it 4 years, 5 years, 5 years running. 5 years running, Lionel Messi has been the top goal scorer in La Liga. Ronaldo had promised 150,000 euros to each player of Real Valladolid if they beat Athletic on the last day, which, as you all know, did not happen. So according to Scorecard, 10 best young players in the Eredivisie have been released. Now, Eredivisie Netherlands generally produce the best young players. They have great technique, they have great coaching. The only reason the Eredivisie is behind the other leagues is because the talented players, they are transferred to the other clubs for money because they don't have. So Mike Tresor and Shime is number 10 from Willem 2, age 21. Danilo 22, FC 20. Owen Wijndal. Let's move on. Sergio Ramos has come out and said, after a bad few months and a strange season, unlike anything I've experienced in my career comes the Euros. I have fought and worked body and soul every day to be able to reach 100% with Real Madrid and Spain, but things don't always go the way you want. Which is quite true. A shock call-up is coming from England by Gareth Southgate of Ben White. Ben White has had a good season, and it's only fitting that he's announced in the squad. But the squad was due to be announced today, but looks like there's a change in the announcement and it's going to be delayed. In spite of all the injuries Liverpool have come through, thanks to the likes of Nat Phillips, Rice Williams, to finish third is commendable after suffering so many injuries, losing Van Dijk, Gomez and Joel Matip. The only criticism of Jurgen Klopp could be not trusting in the youngsters at an earlier stage, but then again they were too young, too inexperienced to trust. But kudos to Jurgen Klopp in Liverpool for finishing in the top 4. Daniel Levy has raised Harry Kane's asking price to £200 million amid interest from Manchester United, Manchester City and Chelsea. As you all know, Harry Kane has expressed his desire to leave the club in search of trophies, although nothing is official from the Tottenham side, but the price has been raised to 200 million and all three clubs are interested in signing the player. All three clubs will improve, no doubt about it. Cristiano Ronaldo becomes the first player to be the top scorer in the Premier League, La Liga and in the Serie A. The first player to do it in 3 different leagues. Let's see what Barcelona will do, whether they'll be able to complete the signings of players like Eric Garcia, Sergio Aguero, Gini Wijnaldum. Emerson Royal looks like he's also on a move to Barcelona. The 22-year-old is owned by Barcelona and Real Betis. It could be around 9 million euros. But they need to keep a hold of Antoine Griezmann at all costs. Maybe not get Memphis Depay. They need to keep Antoine Griezmann because Griezmann played really well has found his groove with Barcelona finally and they're clicking. Barcelona finished the season the best out of the top 3 clubs, so them and Real Madrid. So if they can kick on, they can definitely kick on for a title this season, the coming season. Now this year's UEFA Champions League final will be interesting because both the coaches prefer a false 9 approach without a poacher. Guardiola uses Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne in the false nine position, sometimes Ilkay Gundogan, whereas Thomas Tuchel uses Mason Mount, Timo Werner, Kai Havertz in the false nine. There's lack of a recognized striker. Obviously, Sergio Aguero is there, Gabriel Jesus is there for Manchester City, but Guardiola is not favouring the two strikers because his team is playing well even without these strikers. And as for Chelsea, they have Tammy Abraham, who's not been given enough opportunities, even though he's proven with his goal scoring ratio that he's really, really good. But he's not been given enough opportunities. Timo Werner is being played ahead of him, even though he's missing chances. But it does not make sense to change the team formation, to change the team setup at this for one final game. So it should be an interesting match, a clash. There's no clash of styles, but it will be a 3-4-3 against a 4-4-3-3 formation. The 4-3-3 by Guardiola against a 3-4-3 by Thomas Tuchel. Guardiola's team obviously will start as favourites as compared to Chelsea. They have ended the season well. Chelsea have not ended the season well. Probably their best performance came in that semi-final level against Real Madrid, where Madrid were clearly found lacking of a lot of players. So it should be interesting to see who wins the Champions League final, although Manchester City start as favourites. And it will be interesting to see whether Aguero starts or not, because Aguero, with his form and how sharp he's looking, he might just be given a nod ahead of the likes of Ilkay Gundogan. But expect De Bruyne, Rodri to play, Bernardo Silva, Riyad Mahrez and Phil Foden to play, and Gundogan midfield and false nine. Maybe it could be Aguero playing as a traditional number 9. Whereas Chelsea will definitely go with Mount, Werner and Kai Havertz, with Abraham and Hakim Ziyech on the bench. Also, today marks the 7-year anniversary of La Decima for Real Madrid. 90-48, if anybody remembers Ramos's goal of Luka Modric's header corner. Sir Alex Ferguson's famous quote, "Give me Zidane and 10 pieces of wood and I'll win you the Champions League." Sergio Aguero was given the Guard of Honor. Timo Werner has been very unlucky this season. He's played well, but he just cannot find the goal. 26 times he scored, 12 goals given, 14 ruled out by VAR or by officials. So Werner has had a good season. He's reached the finals of the Champions League and the FA Cup, but Chelsea just need to finish the season strong, and now there's just one game left, which again City look like they're the finalists. Harry Kane claims the Premier League Golden Boot for the third time. He's only the third player to win it 3 or more times, after Thierry Henry, who did it 4 times, and Alan Shearer, who did it 3 times with 23 goals this year. He had 25 in 2005 to 2015, 2016, and 29 goals in 2016, 2017. Probably one of the best moments of the season was when Manchester City had the ball for 90 minutes, almost 80% possession against Mourinho's Spurs, but Mourinho won 2-0 when Mourinho said Man City can take the ball home as long as I get the 3 points. But Mourinho has subsequently been sacked just before the League Cup, and around the time when the controversy of the European Super League was just starting, so nobody quite knows why that happened. Diego Simeone has said that probably the Premier League teams are the best in Europe. The English Championship is very strong. They have the best economic investment, and possibly in the current moment, after a decade of Spanish dominance, the English teams are coming back on top with Manchester City and Chelsea final. We saw Liverpool and Tottenham final a few years ago. Liverpool were in the finals in the year before, and yes, the English teams are coming back, and they're probably the best in Europe at the time, and they might just be for a couple more years, unless the Spanish teams or the German teams or the Italian teams can figure something out. But because of economic reasons, the way they have structured their league, the way they have managed to market their league, has really helped them in the long run. Without the likes of Ronaldo and Messi, it looks like even La Liga will go down the drain. Alan Shearer and Micah Richards have revealed Premier League winners. 7 clubs that have won the Premier League since inception. So who has produced the best team? So Manchester United in 2008 was a good team. Arsenal in 1998 was again a good team. Liverpool in 2020 at rank 7. That's surprising to see. Let's see where the list goes. Manchester City 2018 ranked 6th. Chelsea 2005, that was also a very good team. Manchester United in 1999 is ranked 4th. Manchester City 2012 ranked 3, Blackburn Rovers ranked 2nd, and Arsenal obviously ranked 2, the invincible Arsenal, and rank 1 Leicester City. It's probably because of the story, but if you believe me, the present Manchester City team would, and the Chelsea team of 2005, and probably the 99 Man United team, these 3 teams were the best teams. Hansi Flick has decided to take over from Joachim Löw after the Euros. He will be in charge for the next World Cup. So Germany are in good hands. Hansi Flick, as we all know, has guided Bayern Munich to so many titles, including the Champions League, a couple of league titles. He had at one point more titles than losses. Eden Hazard is reportedly all ready to come back to Chelsea after a torrid season. That will be a real blow for Real Madrid to lose Eden Hazard. They need to replace him, of course, with somebody. If they can do that, then yes, it's fine. If they cannot, then that will be a big loss. Hazard is not fired, but whenever he's played in bits and parts, he's shown his talent. Now that is actually the problem with Hazard, that he was supposed to replace somebody like Cristiano Ronaldo, who's at the top of the game, and Hazard has always been known as sort of an inconsistent player. Even with Chelsea, there was one season he's winning the title, next season he's not in the best of forms. So his form fluctuates a lot. With Madrid, it never really kicked off. But he should be given a further run unless Madrid are looking to get a bigger buy, somebody like Mbappe or a Haaland. But it looks like Hazard's time is over. Gareth Bale is coming back from loan, so Gareth Bale could also do well if he's given a run, but he's not Zidane's favourite. But Bale should be played. Bale can do what no other player in this team is doing, driving with the ball. Rodrigo and Vinicius do that. Hazard has been injured, he also does that. Benzema, everything cannot fall on Benzema's shoulders. Asensio is not very good at driving with the ball. He likes the ball in the area, but Bale can do it at pace, and he's shown with Tottenham that he's recovering some sort of form, and given a good enough run, he might just show us his true class. But Hazard leaving for Madrid getting no replacement. Vinicius is not good enough for Real Madrid at this moment, and even if Vinicius is playing, you cannot play both Vinicius and Rodrigo. Either Asensio has to be played, but then if Asensio is played, they need another player coming off from the bench. Isco is mostly limited. Isco is one guy who's coming off the bench, and he's mostly limited to the midfield region these days. But Madrid need one more player, either Gareth Bale, Eden Hazard, or if Martin Odegaard comes, then maybe they can work with Martin Odegaard. Chris Wilder is lined up for a return to management. Chelsea won the Champions League title in 2012. They'll be hoping for a repeat. They won it against Bayern Munich with that famous Didier Drogba equalizer. Jose Gaya, captain of Valencia, playing for Spain. Maybe he'll be the first choice left back. Maybe it'll be Jordi Alba. That's to be seen what Luis Enrique decides. But he's surely good enough to be a first choice left back. He's fast, he's pacey, he's skillful, he can go forward, he can defend, he can do it all. One of the finest left backs in the game right now. Nicolas Pepe, Sadio Mane, Pablo Fornals,